Okay, so today I'm going to show you my rendition of how I made this Mother's Day mom quote using one of the tiles from Lowe's. It's a 4 by 12 ceramic tile that I purchased. I did use the I Love Glitter font. The tile that I purchased from Lowe's, I paid 70 cents for it. It's the brand is Satori. I ended up actually just buying a box of 30 and got a much better deal. I paid a little less than $25 for it. So I'm really excited about this big package that I got from them. As far as my projects, I'm going to make this YouTube tutorial as simple as possible. So I will show you how I downloaded I Love Glitter font onto my Cricut Design Center, since that is not an included font, and how I got the hearts. I'm also going to show you how I cut out the words in the middle of the word mom and was able to layer everything in one transaction. So hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all of the different tools that I will be using to complete this project. This is in addition to, of course, the design center where we actually create our text. So first is the red permanent vinyl. I actually got this from Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby. I usually use the Cricut brand, but wanted to try this one out. So again, this is the permanent Paper Studio. I also used the metallic silver in permanent vinyl as well, same brand, Paper Studio. So first time using this one. I will need transfer tape, which I'll show you how to use that here in just a few moments after we get our project completed. I have a cutter. This is going to cut my vinyl. It makes life just that much more easier. If you don't have one, no problem. You can just use some regular scissors. I have my blue light grip mat that I'll be using, but if you don't have the blue one, you can use green, purple, whatever color you have. Okay, so as far as my Cricut tool set, I do have tweezers, I have a weeder, I have scissors, and I also have a spatula along with my cutting mat. All of this I did purchase in a bundle. I have my Amazon link below if you are interested in purchasing any of these tools. Okay, so you're going to want to go to www.thefont.com and search for I Love Glitter. Once you do that, there to the far right, there's an icon that says download. You simply click on that, and that will pop up another screen asking if you want to download it. Hit allow. Once it's finished downloading, you simply go to the folder, which in my case it's in the upright, open it up, and then click on the one that has TTF. You double click on that, it's going to open up another screen that looks like this. Click on Install Font. Once you do that, it will install the font to your computer. Now that you have the font installed on your computer, you can now open up your Cricut application. You will type in the text that you would like to have, like I'm doing here. I'm putting in test, I'm going to font, and I'm going to search for my glitter font, find it, and then you can see here. What happens is the letters are not connected, so I go up to the section that says letter space and I bring it down to 0, and this moves all the letters closer together. Now you can go ahead and type the name that you would like to appear here. I've attached a few examples here of the different types of fonts and heart symbols with the squiggly lines that you can do with glitter. So if you type an asterisk, you'll get a heart. If you type the vertical bar, you will get a solid heart doodle. If you use the underscore symbol, you will get an open heart doodle. And if you use a closed bracket, you'll get a swirl. So I've included 3 examples here for reference. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use the font Charter, which should be a free font that comes with Cricut, and we're going to create the word mom. I'm going to split the word mom as you can see in the image above, so that way I can put my names in the middle of the word mom. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a shape using the square image. I'm going to unlock the size of the shape and put it over the text of mom and drag it all the way out. The size doesn't necessarily matter, but what does matter is going over and highlighting both the text and the shape that is over the word mom. Once you do that, like I said, you want to make sure that you center everything so that way your text box is directly in the middle. As you can see here, I accidentally included some of the other text. I'm just going to hit the back button and only highlight the word mom and the square that's in the middle. Again, center everything just to make sure everything looks good there. You're going to hit slice, drag your font over a little bit to the right, and then delete what's under the left. So now you should have the word mom with the gap in the middle. Now you're going to need to add a straight line all the way across the middle of the word mom. You're going to use 2 lines. To do so, you basically just need to use your text, and you're going to use a hyphen, which is also known as the takeaway symbol on your keyboard. You just need to use it, click it one time, drag it all the way across as I did, but make sure that you unlock the size so that way it doesn't get bigger than it needs to. Drag it all the way across. You have to play with this a little bit just to kind of get it the perfect size. Once you find a size that fits, just hit Control C, which means you are now copying it, and then Control V, or you can right click on your mouse and that will copy the same line that you just created, and you can paste it and you can use that as a starting point for the line that's on the bottom part of your mom letter. Drag it across and you are all complete. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight it and then you're going to hit attach. This will make this one piece now. At this point, you can move the text that you would like to appear in the middle of the word mom and drag it across like this just so you can see what it would look like. So I'm using the word I love you just as an example. I'm going to highlight both the text I love you and the word mom, and I'm going to center everything. If you want everything to be one color, then you can do so by basically just highlighting your text with the words in the middle and hitting attach. When you get ready to print this, everything will print whatever color vinyl that you use. As you can see, it's all moving as one piece. In my case, I want the word mom to be one color, and I want the text in the middle that says I love you, for example, to be a separate color. So I'm going to detach it and in this case highlight my color red in case I decide to use red vinyl. Alright, so now I'm going to show you a little bit more in detail how you can change the font and the symbols of it. So using the word I love you, I'm going to add a closed bracket to the left of it, and when I did that it created a squiggly line, and I'm going to do the same on the right hand side. So this puts a closed bracket on the left and the right, which makes a squiggly line. If you want to add a closed heart, you just put an asterisk mark. And I'm doing that both on the left and the right side. Here you can just kind of play around with the size a little bit. Again, the dimensions, we have not adjusted it yet. This is just kind of what it looks like on my screen, but last step will be to adjust the size so that way it matches the actual tile that we're printing it on. All right, we are just about ready to cut it. So what we need to do now is make sure that it's the proper size. As a reminder, the tile that I have is 12 by 4, so I'm going to adjust my size accordingly. There's no right or wrong answer to the size, but I'm just going to kind of play around with it to what I think looks best. I personally like the squiggly lines to be a little bit longer than the word mom, but you can make it however you like and what you think looks good. Again, I want my font that's in the middle to be red. So when I click on create, you're going to see 2 separate sheets. One that has the word mom in black, the second one that has the word I love you in red. I am not going to need to mirror my vinyl because I am not using HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl. But if you do plan on using it, it does work. So just make sure that you use the mirror button, which basically means that it's reversing. Once you're ready to go, you just need to hit create and then connect your machine. Okay, so now we're going to change the dial on our Cricut machine to vinyl. If you're using HTV, be sure to set that accordingly, but I'm using vinyl. Okay, so next I need to measure my vinyl. I'm cutting out the word mom first, which we know is going to be basically the full length of the tile, which is roughly 12 inches. So I want to make it big enough. So I'm going to use my cutter, cut it out. Again, if you don't have one, you can use scissors. And then next I'm going to cut out the red vinyl. Okay, so now I'm going to put my silver vinyl onto my mat. I'm going to put the shiny side up, and this is extremely important that you put the shiny side up. Do not put it shiny side down, otherwise it's going to print the incorrect way or cut the incorrect way. So shiny side goes up, and just as a quick tip, if it's permanent vinyl, shiny side will go up. If it's HTV, which is something you may put like on a t-shirt, shiny side will go down. So get all the bubbles out, flatten it out, and then once you have it laid out on your mat, it is ready to go into your Cricut machine. Alright, once you got all the bubbles out, you're going to put it into your machine, and so you're going to lay your Cricut mat flat onto the machine, and you're going to see a blinking arrow button on the machine to the right. You're going to push that, and it's going to pull into your machine. This is the fun part where your Cricut machine gets to work, and it is going to cut out the word mom. So this usually takes probably, I would say for this size, about maybe 5 minutes, but I'm going to speed it up. Once the silver vinyl is done cutting, then I'm going to take it off and then put in my red vinyl. I'm going to also make sure it's red side has the shiny side up, and then also hit the arrow button so that way it can start printing. Alright guys, that is the hard part. Your Cricut machine had just cut out your letters. Now it's time to get to weeding. This could be very tedious, so if you do have a Cricut Lite, I highly recommend using it. I do have one, but I just wanted to show you what it was like using it without it, for those of you that don't. So basically you're just going to pull it back, and then you want to try to keep everything as flat as possible. Okay, so next I'm going to get my transfer tape. I'm going to cut it out the same size as the tile, which again is going to be roughly 4 inches by 12 inches. I'm then going to take the transfer tape and lay it directly on top of the word mom, transfer those letters over onto my transfer tape, and then I'll do the same thing with the names that I have on there. That way I can get everything transferred over in one sweep. A lot of people tend to do it separately where they'll transfer the word mom over and then the name, but I find it easier just to do a double layer. Alright, so now this is really the fun part. We're now going to take the word mom with the names that I have, and we're going to transfer these letters onto the actual tile. So it's very, very simple. Basically, just place it exactly where you want it to be. Push really hard. Use your spatula to flatten it. And to get all the bubbles out takes a little bit of time. And then once you've gotten all the bubbles and it's really, really flat and you pressed hard on it, then you can start peeling at the corner. Sometimes the letters will stick to the transfer tape, especially if it's Cricut brand, which is what I have because it is really strong. Alright, I would say go back with your spatula and just get any extra bubbles out. For me, you don't have to do this, but I personally like to put a little bit of gloss over it just so that it looks very clean and professional. Again, you don't have to do that because it is permanent. It should not